slower. I like watching the raindrops on the window. It is peaceful. I feel calm, even though it's only my 4th day at work. The bus stops at different places, and more people get on. Some stand, and others sit. Finally, I see my stop. I get off the bus and walk to the office. The rain is still falling, but it isn't too heavy. I walk quickly, not wanting to get too wet. When I get inside the building, I feel the warmth. The receptionist greets me as I walk in. "Good morning," she says. "Good morning," I reply. I smile and walk to the elevator. I press the button for the 3rd floor. The doors open, and I step out into the busy office. People are typing on their computers, and the phones are ringing. I sit at my desk and turn on my computer. I feel ready for another day of work. Mr. Robert comes over to me. "Good morning, James," he says. "Good morning, Mr. Robert," I reply. He smiles and says, "Today, you will work on a new project with Sarah and David. We have some new tasks for you." I feel excited. It's only my 4th day, and already I'm helping with new projects. Mr. Robert gives me a folder with papers inside. "Look through these files," he says. "Then help Sarah and David write the report." I take the folder and begin looking through the papers. There are a lot of details to read. Sarah and David are busy at their desks. I ask Sarah, "Can you help me with some of these words?" She smiles and says, "Sure." She explains the new words to me. I write them down in my notebook. It feels good to learn new things. We work together on the project. Sarah shows me how to organize the files. David helps me understand the details. We work carefully, making sure everything is correct. It's not too hard, but it takes time. I feel proud of the work we are doing. After a while, we finish organizing the files. It's time to write the report. I take a deep breath and start typing. The report is important, so I make sure to write clearly. Sarah checks my work and gives me suggestions. "This part is good," she says. "Try changing this sentence." I listen to her advice and make the changes. When I finish writing the report, I check it one more time. Everything looks good. I send it to Mr. Robert. He comes over to my desk and looks at the report. "Well done, James," he says. "You are doing great." I smile and thank him. I feel proud of my work. It's time for lunch. Sarah, David, and I walk to the break room. Some of our co-workers are already there. Sarah is eating a sandwich, and David is drinking tea. I also have a sandwich. We sit down and talk about the project. "How are you feeling about the report?" David asks. "I think it's going well," I reply. "I learned a lot today." We talk about other things too. Sarah tells us about her weekend plans, and David shares a funny story. We laugh and enjoy our break. It feels nice to relax for a few minutes. After lunch, we go back to our desks. The afternoon passes quickly. I check my emails and reply to a few. I also help Sarah with another task. The work is busy, but it's not hard. I feel like I am getting better every day. Mr. Robert comes over and checks on our work. "Great job, everyone," he says. "Keep up the good work." At the end of the day, I gather my things. I pack my bag and stand up. "See you tomorrow," I say to Sarah and David. Goodbye, James. Have a nice evening, they reply. I leave the office and walk to the bus stop. The rain has stopped, but the streets are still wet. I get on the bus and find a seat by the window. I look outside and think about my day. It was a good day. I worked hard and learned a lot. I am happy with my progress. Tomorrow will be another day to learn and improve. Chapter 5. The next morning, I wake up early again. My alarm rings. Ding, ding, ding! I turn it off and stretch my arms. I feel sleepy, but I am ready for another day at work. I get out of bed and walk to the window. It is a beautiful day. The sun is shining and the sky is clear. I feel happy because it looks like a nice day. I go to the bathroom and wash my face with cold water. It wakes me up and feels good. Then I brush my teeth. I make sure to brush carefully. When I finish, I look in the mirror and smile. My teeth are clean, and I feel ready for the day. I walk to my closet and pick out my clothes. I choose a nice shirt and my favorite pants. I put them on, and they feel comfortable. I check the time. It's almost time to leave. I grab my bag and go outside. I walk to the bus stop. There are a few people already waiting. Some are holding umbrellas and others are on their phones. I stand in line, waiting for the bus to arrive. Soon I see the bus coming. It's a little crowded, but I get on and find a seat by the window. I look outside as the bus moves. The city looks different today. There are more cars and people. Some are walking to work, and others are waiting for the bus. The city is always busy, and I like being part of it. As the bus moves through the streets, I think about my job. I feel happy at work. I have learned a lot in the past few days. I feel more comfortable now. I know my co-workers, and I like working with them. The work is interesting, and I enjoy helping with different tasks. The bus stops at different places, and more people get on. Some sit down, and others stand. I watch them for a while, then look outside again. The city is full of life. People are walking quickly, and cars are moving slowly. The city never stops. I arrive at my stop and get off the bus. I walk into the office building and feel the cool air inside. The receptionist smiles at me. "Good morning," she says. "Good morning," I reply. I walk to the elevator and press the button for the 3rd floor. The doors open and I step out into the office. I sit down at my desk and turn on my computer. The screen lights up and I feel ready to work. Mr. Robert comes over to me. "Good morning, James," he says with a smile. "Good morning, Mr. Robert," I reply. He looks at me and says, "Today, we have a new task for you. I want you to work with Sarah and David on a new project. It's a big task, but I know you can do it." I feel excited. I am happy that Mr. Robert trusts me with a new task. I nod and say, "I will do my best." He smiles and gives me a folder with some papers inside. "Look through these and work with Sarah and David to organize them. After that, you will help write a report," he says. I take the folder and walk over to Sarah and David. They are already working on the new project. I sit down at the table with them. We start looking at the papers in the folder. Some of the papers are easy to understand, and others are a little harder. We take our time, reading each paper carefully. Sarah explains some of the new words to me. "It means," she says, and I write the words down in my notebook. After we finish reading the papers, it's time to organize them. We arrange the papers in order, making sure everything is in the right place. I check to make sure I haven't missed anything. The task is not too hard, but it takes some time. We work together, and it feels good to help. Once the papers are organized, it's time to write the report. I take my notebook and start typing. The report is important, so I want to make sure it is correct. Sarah checks my work and gives me some tips. "This part is good," she says, "but change this sentence a little." I listen carefully and make the changes. After a while, we finish the report. I read it one more time to make sure everything is perfect. When I am sure it's good, I send it to Mr. Robert. He comes over to my desk and looks at the report. "Well done, James," he says. "You are getting better every day." I smile and thank him. I feel proud of my work. It's lunchtime now. Sarah, David, and I walk to the break room. Some of our co-workers are already there. Sarah is eating a sandwich and David is drinking coffee. I also have a sandwich. We sit down and talk about our work. "How's the project going?" David asks. "It's going well," I reply. "I'm learning a lot." Sarah smiles. "You are doing great, James," she says. We also talk about our plans for the weekend. Sarah is going to visit her family, and David is going to watch a movie. I don't have any special plans, but I'm looking forward to relaxing. After lunch, we go back to our desks. The afternoon passes quickly. I check my emails and reply to a few. I also help Sarah with another task. The work is busy, but it's fun. I feel more confident every day. I'm learning new things and getting better at my job. At the end of the day, I gather my things and stand up. I wave goodbye to Sarah and David. "See you tomorrow," I say. "Goodbye, James. Have a good evening," they reply. I leave the office and walk to the bus stop. It's a beautiful evening. The sun is setting and the air is cool. I wait for the bus, thinking about my day. I feel happy. I worked hard and I learned a lot. I know that tomorrow will be another good day. When the bus arrives, I get on and find a seat by the window. I look out at the city as the bus drives home. The day was good, and I feel proud of myself. Chapter 6. The next day, I wake up early again. The alarm rings. Ding, ding, ding. I turn it off and stretch. I feel a little tired, but I know I need to get ready for work. I get out of bed and walk to the window. The sky is cloudy today, but it is still early. I hope the sun will come out later. I feel calm. I go to the bathroom and wash my face with cool water. It wakes me up and feels good. Then, I brush my teeth. I want my teeth to be clean. When I finish, I look in the mirror and smile. My face looks fresh, and I feel ready for the day. I walk to my closet and pick out my clothes. I choose a simple shirt and a pair of pants. I feel comfortable in them. I check the time. It's almost time to leave. I grab my bag and put on my shoes. I go outside and walk to the bus stop. I see a few people waiting there. Some are reading and others are talking. I stand in line and wait for the bus to arrive. The bus comes soon. I get on and find a seat by the window. I look outside. The city is quiet this morning. There are fewer cars and people than usual. I think it might rain later. The bus moves slowly through the streets. I see people walking with umbrellas and cars driving carefully. When I get to the office, I walk inside the building. It's warm and quiet. The receptionist greets me with a smile. "Good morning," she says. "Good morning," I reply. I walk to the elevator and press the button for the 3rd floor. When I get to the office, I sit down at my desk. I turn on my computer and check my emails. There are a few new messages. Some are about new projects, and others are about meetings. I read each one carefully. I need to understand everything so I can do my job well. Mr. Robert comes over to my desk. "Good morning, James," he says with a smile. "Good morning, Mr. Robert," I reply. He looks at me and says, "I have something for you today. Please help Sarah with the new project. She will explain the details to you." I nod and walk over to Sarah's desk. She is sitting at her computer typing. I say hello to her. "Hi, Sarah," I say. She looks up and smiles. "Hi, James. I'm glad you're here. We have a new project to work on today. It's about organizing some documents for a new company event." I sit down next to her and she shows me the papers. Some are simple, but others are a little hard to understand. "Don't worry," she says. "I'll explain everything to you." She tells me what each document is for, and I write down some notes. It helps me understand better. We start working together. We read the papers carefully and organize them. Sarah tells me where each paper should go. I listen carefully and do my best to keep up. I make sure to ask if I don't understand something. Sarah is very helpful, and I'm learning a lot from her. After we finish organizing the papers, we start planning for the event. Sarah explains that the event will be held next month. "We need to make sure everything is ready on time," she says. "We'll need to call some people, make lists, and prepare the venue." I listen carefully and make notes. It sounds like a big job, but I feel excited to be part of it. We work together to make a plan. We decide who will do each task, and we write everything down in a notebook. Sarah shows me how to make a schedule for the event. "This will help us stay organized," she says. Once we finish planning, it's time to write an email to the team. Sarah explains the plan to me, and I help her write the email. We want to make sure everyone understands what to do. I type the email carefully, checking for mistakes. When it's done, we send it to everyone. It's now time for a break. Sarah and I walk to the break room. Some of our co-workers are there. David is drinking a cup of tea, and a few others are talking. I feel happy. The work is interesting, and I am learning a lot. We talk about the event and how we are preparing for it. After our break, we return to our desks. I check my emails again. There are a few more messages from Mr. Robert. I read them carefully and reply to each one. He thanks me for my hard work and tells me to keep going. I feel proud of my work. In the afternoon, I help Sarah with some more tasks. We make a list of things to do for the event. I write down the tasks, and Sarah tells me what needs to be done. It's a lot of work, but it feels good to be busy. I like that I can help. The day goes by quickly. Before I know it, it's time to leave. I stand up and gather my things. I wave goodbye to Sarah and David. "See you tomorrow," I say. "Goodbye, James. Have a good evening," they reply. I leave the office and walk to the bus stop. The weather is cooler now and it's starting to rain. I wait for the bus and think about my day. I worked hard and I learned a lot. I'm glad I could help with the new project. I know tomorrow will be another busy day, but I'm ready. When the bus arrives, I get on and find a seat. The bus is quiet now. I look out the window as the rain falls. The city looks peaceful in the rain. I feel happy and tired. It was a good day. Chapter 7. The next morning, I wake up early again. The alarm rings loudly. Ding, ding, ding! I turn it off quickly. I feel a little tired, but I get out of bed. I stretch and walk to the window. The sky is clear today. The sun is shining brightly. I smile because it looks like a good day. I go to the bathroom to wash my face. The cold water wakes me up and makes me feel better. After that, I brush my teeth. I want to keep my teeth clean. I look at myself in the mirror and smile. I am ready for another day at work. I choose a blue shirt and some comfortable pants. I put them on and check the time. I still have time before I need to leave. I pick up my bag and put on my shoes. I leave the house and walk to the bus stop. There are a few people waiting. I stand in line and wait for the bus. It comes soon. The doors open and I get on. I find a seat by the window. The bus is not full, so I can sit comfortably. I look outside. The city is already busy. There are many cars, and people are walking on the streets. When I arrive at the office, I walk inside. The building is cool and quiet. I see the receptionist sitting at her desk. She greets me with a smile. "Good morning," she says. "Good morning," I reply. I walk to the elevator and press the button for the 3rd floor. The doors close, and the elevator moves up. I get off at my floor and walk to my desk. I turn on my computer and check my emails. There are a few new messages. Most of them are about the new event. Mr. Robert wants me to make a list of all the people we need for the event. I write down the names of the people in the team and those we need to contact. It's important to stay organized. After that, Mr. Robert comes to my desk. "How are you today, James?" he asks. "I'm good, thank you," I reply. "I need your help again," he says. "Please make sure that the emails for the event are ready to be sent out. Some people still need to get the details." I nod and start reading the emails. Some of them are not complete, so I add the missing information. I check everything carefully to make sure it's correct. After I finish, I send the emails to the team. Mr. Robert comes back and looks at my work. "Good job, James," he says. "You're doing great." I feel happy. The morning passes quickly. Before I know it, it's time for a break. I walk to the break room. Sarah and David are already there. Sarah is eating a sandwich and David is drinking a cup of coffee. I sit down with them and chat about the event. "It's going well," Sarah says. "We have a lot to do, but everything is on track." We talk for a while and enjoy our food. After the break, I return to my desk. I see some new emails in my inbox. They are mostly about the event. I answer a few questions from my colleagues. It feels good to help. In the afternoon, Mr. Robert asks me to help Sarah with some phone calls. We need to confirm the details of the event with some people. I sit with Sarah while she calls the venues. She speaks clearly and writes down the information. I help by making notes. After a few calls, we have all the details we need. The day goes by fast. I help with a few more tasks. I make some more lists and check emails. I feel busy, but it's a good kind of busy. I like helping with the event. It feels important. At the end of the day, I stand up and grab my things. I say goodbye to Sarah and David. "See you tomorrow," I say with a smile. "Goodbye, James," Sarah replies. "Have a nice evening," David says. I leave the office and walk to the bus stop. It's a little cooler now. I wait for the bus and think about my day. I learned a lot and helped with the event. I feel proud of the work I did. When the bus comes, I get on. There are fewer people on the bus today, so I can sit by the window. I look outside as the bus drives through the city. The streets are busy, but the sun is setting now. It's a beautiful sight. I feel peaceful and happy. I think about everything I did today. It was a busy day, but I feel good about it. I know I am doing well at my job. I am learning new things every day. The bus moves slowly, and I enjoy the quiet time. When I get home, I feel a little tired, but I am happy. I sit down and think about tomorrow. I am ready for another day at work. I feel confident and excited to continue helping with the event. That's the end of today's story. Keep practicing your English. Every day you are getting better and better. See you again soon.